play itself. So, you know.
It is a contact sport, and like you say, 40 yards away from the play, it doesn't have a bearing on it. So, there'll be a few more dust-ups before this one's done.
Cochamilio on to attempt the extra point, and the kick is up, and the kick is good. And the Sault Sabercats will jump out to a 7-0 lead about halfway through the first quarter here.
Great start for the Sabercats as they get on the board first, and they'll attempt to continue that, but they'll have to count on defense to do that now. So, don't forget, we'd like to thank our sponsors today, O'Sullivan Funeral Home, Freeze Frame Photos, Bob Davies on the Shutterbug there, True North Radio, Pee Wee Pro Shop, and Swing Away Batting Cages. Make sure you watch our coverage on OSFL football. And if you like this video, make sure to subscribe below for more help to help support Sault Sports TV. So it looks like we're going to see another kickoff, and I think it'll be Carter again doing the honors.
Yeah, it looks like Carter's going to kick off, and Landon Chow coming on to, or sorry, he was just coming on because he missed it. But again, we have DeAnthony Crosborn back to return along with number 21, Gregory Sutton. So you don't see Martin out there in his normal spot. Hopefully he's okay and comes back out for offense.
And the kickoff is up.
And there's a big boot there. What a kick, and it's taken by Sutton. Sutton picks it up. And Sutton gets a pretty solid return there. He was initially contacted by number 21, Peyton Melchiori. So it'll be first down and 10 for the Scarborough Thunder, going left to right here.
And it looked like it was AJ Cochamillo doing the kicking there, so it wasn't Carter.
Oh, that was Cochamillo. Nice kick, yeah.
Yeah.
7:38 to play here in the first quarter. The Thunder setting up from their own 25-yard line. Toring, again, lines up, running back to his right, motions to his left. Empty backfield now, the snap, quick throw, quick screen to the outside, and it's taken there by number 16, Noah McKenzie. Nice little play there by the Thunder. That'll pick up 11 yards, and that's a first down for the Scarborough Thunder. Nice play there, Scott.
It doesn't look like they're going to give them the extra yards. They're going to be half a yard short. So, now they're going to move it.
Yeah, the officials did signal for the first down. So,
okay. So they had spotted it on the 36-yard line, looks like, and that's where they'll take over. Cats, first down.
The Thunder coming to the line. Again, I don't see Martin out on the field right now, which would be a massive loss for this team. Toring takes the snap. There's a handoff up the middle again. And they're getting absolutely nothing up the middle against this defensive line of the Sabercats. Sutton picks up about a yard and a half, and he's brought down by number 99, Grant Matheson.
As often is the case, not a lot of purple jerseys on the opponent side there, so sometimes with road trips it's hard for kids with work commitments and such, so they're looking a little depleted, so they'd be missing number 3 if he is unable to continue today.
Toring again in the gun. He's got Chow lined up to his right. Ozui motions to his right, and there's a nice throw there, and right in the hands of Weiss, and he's unable to squeeze it down. Beautiful throw there by Toring. That's one that Tyson Weiss would like to have back, but great play there by the Thunder, and the Sabercats able to hold on defensively with 5:54 to play here in the first quarter. The Thunder are going to be punting yet again as Kamani James is back for the Thunder. And again, Gazzetti on to return the punt.
Blair Boudreau, number 5 there on the coverage on the intended pass. Incomplete, brings up third down.
Snap's good. A little toe kick there, but gets a great bounce. That's a nice punt there, and Gazzetti takes it. Gazzetti looks to his left, and if Gazzetti gets outside, look out. There's a flag on the play. Gazzetti cuts it up the middle. Nice tackle, open field tackle there by number 58, I believe, or 56, sorry. Donnie Harper, you know, give him credit. That's not easy to do. We don't see a lot of people, you know, make an open field tackle on Gazzetti like that. But there is a flag on the play. So it looks like this is going to come back.
I hope it wasn't on the Sabercat on the corner there, because that looked like a pretty good block to me. But
again, Peter's pole was right in the way of me for me, so I couldn't tell you what happened. I just saw the flag.
Was it crack block? Okay. So crack back block behind the play, and I missed it too. So nice setup on the return there. But obviously the flag brings it back and make the Cats start deep in their end zones, or in their zone.
A blocking from behind penalty against the Sabercats. So it'll be first down and 10 Sabercats from their own 22-yard line, going right to left on your radio dial. Tucker lines up in the backfield. He's got Melchiori lined up to his left. And there's the snap, and Melchiori takes it. What a hole that is. My goodness. Could have drove a truck through that one.
I may have picked up one or two on that one.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Great job by the offensive line, boring holes, and both those backs in that backfield for the Cats are very similar. Number 21, 22, both short in stature but tall on speed and grit, and nice compliment for Matty Tucker back in the quarterback position for the Cats.
Nolan Johnstone makes the tackle there. Tucker, again, in the gun. He's got 3 receivers to his left, 2 to his right. Melchiori lined up behind him. There's some motion to the right. They hand it to Melchiori on the left. And beautiful stop there. Nice tackle, as that's read well by the Thunder defense. Tackle on the play by 57, Noah Kolar. It'll be a short gain of 2, and it'll be second down and 8.
Kolar having himself a game already. Been called a couple times. Looks to be one of the leaders in the linebacker spot for the Thunder. So second and 7.
Tucker again in the gun. 3 receivers to his left. Melchiori steps up to the left. It's a pass. Tucker looks, and Tucker decides to tuck it and run. And nice job again by number 43, Nolan Johnstone. Wraps him up from behind. It is a gain of about 4 or 5 yards. We're going to have third down and 3, we'll call it. Or a long 3, might be 4. And looks like the Sabercats are going to punt with 4:04 to play here in the first quarter. You know, we've had one big play here today, and it's just been a defensive battle otherwise. But that's what a guy like Gazzetti can do for you.
Absolutely. And, you know, the Scarborough defense has been playing well up until that point, or except for that one play where Gazzetti was able to get loose. But that's what Gazzetti's MO is. So here's the punt.
Carter back to kick, and there's a fake. And it's handed to Gazzetti, and Gazzetti's got all sorts of room. But what a hit on the outside. I think he got the first down still. But what a tackle by Gregory Sutton on the outside, as that's a touchdown saving tackle by Sutton as he steps up and makes a big hit on Gazzetti. Nice little play design there by the Sabercats, and they just stole a possession. It'll be first down and 10 from their own 46-yard line.
Brave choice by the coaching staff. Up 7 points, 2 minutes left in the first quarter. It's a tough one. You turn it over, and they got a short field, does the Scarborough, but works out for them just, and moving the sticks, first and 10.
Tucker, again, looks, motion to the left. Cochimilio has it. Cochimilio cuts it up, and there is a flag on the play from the backside, and there's a nice job as number 24, D'Anthony Crosborn, forces him out of bounds. And we'll see what the flag is here. Looks like it's going to be against the Sabercats.
And I know by just looking at Cochimilio has put on a few pounds since last year. Looks like a great little receiver, and always had speed, and the way these guys hit the gym and train and get ready for a season, you know, and there's no surprise that these guys are all bigger and better and faster than they were last year.
I didn't see this. I didn't. Oh, oh, there it is. So it is a hold against the Sabercats. So it'll go back 10 yards, and it'll be. We're gonna replay the down. So it'll be first and 20.
So again, only third game in, so he's still early in the season. But you know, those are the penalties that the coaches hate. You know, sometimes inevitable, but that really stalls the progress and takes them back after the momentum of the third down conversion. So
Tucker lines up. He motions Carter. Carter motioning in. He looks, and he's looking at him. Tucker now goes to his right. Tucker tucks it and runs. Matty Tucker's forced out of bounds by number 33, Lane Paloka. That's a gain of 9 on the play. That's one aspect of Matty Tucker's game that we've really watched evolve over the years. I mean, watching that kid play in Sioux Minor, you know, that was probably one of his biggest weaknesses was his foot speed, and it's something he's worked at like crazy. And he's, you know, he can now turn those losses into gains with his legs, and that's a huge asset for this Sabercats team as Tucker now takes it. Oh, and that's an offside. Good job there by the Sabercats. Again, sneaking in an extra free 5 yards. So it'll be now second down and 7.
I think it was Xavier Boston, number 65, if I can read that jersey correctly, where that jumped the gun a little bit earlier. And back to your point on Tucker, you know, a real student of the game where years ago he would get by on just his athleticism, but he studies the game now and works out, hits the gym and trains with his dad, and he's prepared for this season. So
he'll be playing at Sioux College come the fall. So Tucker again from the gun. He gives it to Gazzetti. Gazzetti now finds a space or finds a hole to the right. Nice block by Carter, and what a tackle by number 25. Sefton Andrews somehow able to swallow him up. You know, it's almost cliche to say it, you know, you're lucky to have a player like that, but you know, you got a player like Gazzetti where every single play, you know, he can take it to the house, and you know, there's no such thing as a bad play as long as he touches the football. So
especially on defense, where your defense has him surrounded and somehow he still manages to get through. He's slippery, and you know, he can get away, very evasive and elusive and fun to watch. And obviously the teams are going to get their fill of him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Tucker again. Tucker looks to his left. There's nowhere to go again, and Tucker just tries to run up the middle. He gains about a yard, maybe 2. I'm not sure what the Thunder are doing defensively. I got to take an eye on it, but you know, Tucker keeps looking, and he's been tucking the ball away, right? I think he's only thrown twice, and he's ran. I think that's his 4th or 5th run so far here in the first quarter with 1:33 to play.
And it looks like their defense is one-on-one with Nate Carter and over here Cole Reve, so they might be able to stretch it or go along with that ball.
And Gazzetti again up the middle, and Gazzetti breaks when there's a flag.
Late flag, I didn't see where it's from, but
we'll see what it's a face mask against Scarborough, and the touchdown is going to stand. So another touchdown run by Gazzetti up the middle. But you know what? We've talked a whole lot about Gazzetti here. I think we also need to talk a lot about the offensive line so far in this first quarter, right? I mean, this offensive line is just completely dominating. Gazzetti's not even getting touched until 5 or 6 yards down the field. So, you know, guys like Connell Smith, Liam Dubois, who else is running off here? Aiden King, Jacob Mateo Perks, number 69, Mateo Torrenson. Like, unbelievable job by those guys early on in this football game. They, in my opinion, they've been the difference so far.
And the line play for the Cats in years past recently has been their Achilles heel. They've stepped up in big games when they've won their championships, but you know, they've had excellent talent at the skill positions, but it's been the line work that's improved considerably.
And the extra point by Cochamilio is good. You know, I think the wind is also a bit of a factor here today too, right? It's pretty strong down there, and that was proof as, you know, that ball by Cochamilio was kicked pretty good, and the official was standing underneath it ready to get it, and then the wind just stopped the ball right in the air, right? So, you know, I think that's the other reason you're seeing these kicks go nice and low, as you can see the wind just howling down there.
Might be a reason also why the coaches might be leery to go up and over and stretch the field passing game. So we'll see how that plays out.
It's definitely blowing left to right as well, right? So
Yeah.
Scarborough right now has the wind at their back. I'm a little surprised to not see them maybe take a few more shots downfield with how well the Sabercats defensive line has been playing, you know, take advantage of that wind. And with the flag, that's going to push the kickoff up 15 yards, so the Sabercats are actually kicking off from the 50-yard line of Scarborough. So,
and again, it will be Coach Miller with the duties, so 81 to kick off. Balls down.
yeah, and with looks like there's 118 to go here, but again, Koch, he's kicking right into the wind here. So, you know, we know Koch's leg, right? And on a normal day, he'd be able to boot this into the end zone, no problem. I think he's going to have a tough time getting this into the end zone with this wind, right? So we'll see what happens. But either way, number 24, DeAnthony Crosborn, and is that Martin back in the game? I believe that's Josh Martin back in the game here for the Thunder, so that's good. Cochamilio with a big boot, and look at the wind just to knock that down on the 5-yard line. It's picked up by Crosborn. He makes a beautiful cut there. Nice coverage. Initial contact was made by number 38, Max Clement, and he's finally brought down by number, I believe that's 85, Mitchell Comersaw.
And Mateo Palumbo holding that on that kick for Coach Emilio. You mentioned Mitchell Comser on the tackle. Of course, Mitchell signing this week or committing to the Ottawa GG program come September. So best of luck to him. Congratulations to him and his folks, Stacy and Matt.
The Thunder. Cosborn motions to his right. There's a quick throw, and it's intercepted. Number 20, Cam Williamson picks off that pass as, again, we saw the wind going in the opposite direction really push that football, right? And kind of take that right out of the receiver's range. And Williamson, Johnny on the spot with a big interception. And the Sabercats with a massive opportunity here with 52.7 seconds to play in the first quarter.
It looked to me that might have been a timing out, and the receiver went a different way because there was virtually nobody in Williamson's grill to impede that interception. So nice job by number 20, and the Sault Sabercats take over, up 14-0 with 32 seconds. It looks like in the quarter.
Tucker with with Gazzetti lined up behind him. He looks, and there's a deep throw to Cochamilio, and again, just the wind. It's really difficult to throw anything downfield. Look at even Tucker. Tucker's got a crazy arm, and it's just really difficult throwing in that direction. Tucker's saying to Cochamilio, sorry, man, I don't know what else I can do there.
I think on a still day that would have been right on because the receiver had the defender beat, and like you say, wind knocks that one down.
If I were a betting man, I'd look for Gazzetti on this play as Tucker takes it. Tucker looks and he finds Gazzetti, a nice little swing pass, and what a tackle by number 33, Lane Pololka. And a little surprised they're not going to go for it, or are they going for it?
I don't see the punter, but
there's no way. Are they going to really attempt a field goal right now in this wind? I'd be impressed.
I think they got their big package in there, so maybe it's the the big fellas in there.
Oh
Grant
yeah, that makes
Matheson,
more sense.
Mateo Larondo coming on, and they got the big jumbo up there. So
yeah, this is a big jumbo package here for the Sabercats. And there's the snap, and that's a pretty easy first down there for number 51, Ethan Carkidi.
I could have made a living being a running back, running behind guys like that. That's a whole lot of LB coming at you, straight down your throat. Welcome to Sault Ste. Marie, Scarborough.
Look at I don't remember seeing a Sabercats team with an offensive line this big in a long time. They got some size on this team.
And as they've done so far in the first quarter, they are imposing their will. They're big and their footwork is excellent, and they're getting downfield and creating opportunities for the run.
And it'll be 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line now. So, you know, this is the direction where, you know what, I know what they're doing is working, but if they were going to try and open it up through the air a little bit, I think this is the direction you'd want to go, right?
And as you mentioned, Tucker's great arm and going with the wind right now, so they might go deep. And but as you said, what they're doing is working. So staying on the ground, pounding, wearing out the opponent, especially an opponent with a few substitutions missing. You know, we'll see what the coaching staff has in store for us. Great job nonetheless, though, by the Sabercats in their first opening period here in the first quarter. They're up 14-0, so start of the second quarter. We got first down from the 25, maybe.
Tucker, 3 receivers to his right, looks to his right, hits Carter, and Carter's got some space. Nice blocking. Nice to see number 64, Connell Smith, out there. Nice job by number 8, though. Brady Van Dale with the stop. That's going to be close to a first down.
Will Meta, number 6, out there helping on the blocking side of things. A short pass to Carter. So
it'll be 3rd down, or it should be 2nd down, no? Yeah, 2nd down and 2, we'll call it. Tucker looks to the bench for the call. 3 receivers to the left as usual and 2 to the right. Gazzetti lines up right behind Tucker. And Gazzetti takes the handoff, and nice job there, but that is going to be a first down, I believe.
Depend on the spot, but it looks to be enough.
Led by number 98. I don't have those ones.
98, Josh LaPera.
Oh, no, 98 for the Thunder made the stop.
Oh, sorry, that's Mateus Jackson on the stop for the Scarborough team. And looks like they're not granting them the first down, so it'll be 3rd and inches.
Here comes the big package yet again.
Sault Ste. Marie's equivalent to the tush push.
Yeah, exactly, right? Big number 99, Grant Matheson in the backfield, along with Carkidi.
I would imagine
and
Carkidi.
Ethan Cesaro, too, right? Cesaro back there, too, right? So take your pick. It's going to go to Carkidi, and Carkidi with an easy first down, and they're going to call a face mask as well, and Carkidi's in for that touchdown. I believe that is going to be a face mask against the Thunder.
Great job by young Ralph Carkidi. I mean, Ethan rambling in there for.
I think Ethan's bigger than his dad at this point.
Not better looking though, according to Ralph. So. Nice scamper, nice carry, nice drive, culminating in a touchdown by Carkidi, and the extra point upcoming. They're just deliberating, but you could plainly see a face mask on entry.
Yeah, so should be.
So Coach Satellite Hot Stove here, we got the Scarborough Thunder down 21 points early in the second quarter. Do you change your game plan or do you stick with it?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think what the Sabercats are doing, again, it's the Gazzetti factor, right? I mean, how do you stop? You know, it's almost ironic. I kind of talk about this with people throughout the community here. When we announce games, it's almost like we're shocked when he gets tackled, you know? So it's like, wow, there was a tackle against Gazzetti, right? And that's probably the biggest compliment you can pay a football player, especially a running back, is, you know, you're genuinely surprised every time he gets tackled. So, you know, again, it's, you know, the Sabercats have struggled through the air here so far. They've, you know, only completed a few little short passes, but again, they haven't had to do much else, and it's been nice. So, you know, look for the Thunder to maybe stack the box a little bit more, just trying to, you know, stop Gazzetti and take their chances through the air. It's tough to throw with this wind, no matter how it goes. So.
And of course, in Sault Ste. Marie lore, many fabled stories about rivalries. Most recently, the St. Mary's Cora battle that we've enjoyed for the last several years, and of course, me cheering for St. Mary's, as my son was a player for that team. He would always marvel that, well, if it weren't for Gazzetti, we would have been in that game.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. I mean, it's the truth, right? Like
that holds little water, but
he makes coaches look good, right? Like he's that good.
absolutely.
Dakin and Goche making quite the entrance here with his fancy little haircut on the sidelines. And
Did the stylist not have a chance to finish,
if
or did he only bring $10 to the cut?
he looks like a horsetail. Is that a new style? I'll have to ask his dad, right?
Well, Cheech told him that the ladies love it, and he went out and got it done. So we'll see if that slows him down. He looks pretty aerodynamic up front with a little bit of drag out back. Number 4, Dakin and Goche. He as well, a great baller. He committed to Sault College for September, so we're looking forward to great things from him, not only this cat season, but into the fall with the Cougars.
Sabercats on to attempt the extra point. It'll be Cachamilio again on to kick. Neshoba Moore on the hold.
It's interesting too. You see different players doing the different kicking roles, kickoffs, extra points, field goal attempts, and it just shows you the riches with this CAT program. You know, you usually have Carter doing the extra points for St. Mary's, and obviously, you know, Cosmil getting his chance last year. Ed Koski doing the kicking, very reliable. So all these different programs producing great athletes at all positions.
Yeah, no question. So the Sabercats will jump out to a 21-0 lead here with 10:36 to play in the second quarter. Again, we just want to thank a couple of our sponsors here: O'Sullivan Funeral Home, the Algoma District School Board, the Algoma Thunderbirds Athletics, the Huron Superior Catholic District School Board, and Gen 7 Gas Station here down in Rankin. So thanks again to all of our sponsors. If you're interested in sponsoring youth sports and youth athletics here in Sault Ste. Marie, please reach out to Jay Houselander at SaultSports.com. He has a variety of packages to help you with your business promotion, and we'd be happy to have you on board. It's a lot of work to bring these games to you, and Jay puts in a ton of hours, so your support is definitely appreciated. Sabercats now. Again, we'll line up with the ball on the right. Cachamilio back to kick. Looks like Martin and Crosborn back to receive yet again. It'll be fun to watch this kick with the wind at Cachamilio's back. We know what a boot he has, so, you know, don't be surprised if you see this one even go over the heads of the Scarborough players, even though they're on the 7-yard line.
Kinnan and Karkidi back behind the kicker as missiles here, so obviously they'll be looking forward to creating a little havoc downfield, and just a little bit delay here as we wait for the officials.
There's a discussion with the Thunder coaching staff and the official. I'm not exactly sure what they're talking about, but
a little confusion, but we'll get that message to you as soon as we can figure it out and sort it out, as the officials aim to do the same. Again, Crosborn and Martin back to return the kick, and 21-0 in the score. Or is it 21?
Yeah. So Cachamilio now. I'm actually excited to watch this boot. I mean, he could easily put this through the back of the end zone with the wind going as is. And Cachamilio, he just puts a little. He didn't get it all, but that was a directional kick. Well placed as Cosborn takes it. He tries to go to the right. Nice job on the outside. Who is that? Number 85, Mitchell Commissar, with a beautiful play, staying in his lane and forcing Crosborn back to the middle of the field. And that's just a nice play there by Mitchell, right? If he takes a bad angle and Crosborn gets around him, he had a wall set up and he was gone. So outstanding play by the new Ottawa Gigi.
And 51, Ethan Garkidi, the touchdown maker, also getting in to help out and support Commissar on the play. Brings up 1st and 10 from the, looks like the 25-yard line, 20-yard line.
Toe ring. Lines up. He takes the snap. Little fake. And now it's out into the hands of Martin. And Martin with a nice move. Martin with a beautiful cut. And nice tackle by Neshoba Moore there. You know, I think he ran about 20 yards and no gain there.
94 also to help in there, Ashton Sachin rather. Another commit to Sioux College Cougars in the fall, so nice work by the defense there. On a broken play, Martin had a second chance at it and could have nearly got away and could have created some havoc there. So 2nd and 10.
Toe-ring in the backfield. Chow lined up to his right. Martin behind him. Martin motions to the right. They tried to get him offside. They do. It looks like a free play. And there's a nice throw by Toe-ring, and again, the wind takes it, and Williamson with his 2nd interception, but we'll see what the call is there, as it looks like it might have been offside.
Call in the booth is offside. We'll see who they're calling call it against. Referee at the signal, but Jimmy Corelli's spotting the ball.
Yeah, I believe that's going to be against. Oh, illegal formation against the Thunder? And rough play against the Sabercats. So flags each way, so it looks like we're going to, roughing the passer, against the Sabercats. So
Roughing the passer on the Sabercats, that'll be added on after the interception.
Yeah. I think roughing the passer used to be where you knock the quarterback to the ground, but
yeah. So I guess the interception will stand on that play. Oh, no, I didn't think so. I thought it depends. The roughing the passer, if the roughing the passer happened after the interception or before the interception, but I don't think you can have roughing the passer after the interception. So it should be Scarborough football still. And then the difference in the yardage, I don't know if that matters or not, but it should move up 10 yards if I'm not mistaken. So it should be 1st down and 10 Thunder. 15, it is 15-yard penalty, 5-yard penalty. Sometimes I know what I'm talking about.
So Coach, 5 yards for the offside. And
it is a 1st down for the Thunder, because again, so it was a 15-yard penalty versus a 5-yard penalty. The officials take the difference, and it will be 1st down and 10 for the Thunder. That's an interesting way to get a 1st down, but I'm sure the Thunder will take it. And
absolutely. And
they got a different formation here with the overload to the right side, and they just hand it off to Martin, and Martin able to get some space there. He picks up about 6 yards, we'll call it.
Nice job of that defensive line to string it out, though, and wait for support to come.
It'll be
by Martin.
2nd down, and we'll call it 5.
Gauthier making an impact in his first series after a late arrival, so number 4 making his presence shown felt.
Yeah, and, you saw a little adjustment there by the Thunder, right? Kind of overloading one side. No receiver on the left. Put lots of big bodies on the right and give your athlete a chance to make make a play. And he was able to there. So this time it looks like they're going to line up to the left. So same idea. So again, look for Martin. And it's just going to be another run here. And he finds some space. And that's going to be close to a 1st down. What do you think? He got the 1st down, I believe.
I'm going to say 1st down.
Yeah, 1st down and 10 for the Thunder.
Coach, not calling it in my background here, but I thought it was a little closer than that, but they're marking it off and moving it. It was interesting because the back didn't even follow his big boys in front of him. He kind of cut it in and turned it up. Obviously, he saw something interesting and was able to get enough for the 1st.
So again, to the left. There's another handoff, and he takes it again. And Martin right up the middle, but this time the Sabercats are all over that play. But you're right, it's almost like Martin's not following his blocks, right? He's cutting it inside a little bit. Nice play there by Blaine Boudreau to made initial contact.
Number 5, Blair Boudreau on the stop there. So nice little effort by the Cats, bend not break, but Scarborough marching the ball a little bit. So showing a different wrinkle and showing the Sabercats, here's our big package, execute better than we do, and they're virtually showing them where they're going, and it's time for the Cats to match. So a 2nd and 10.
2nd down and 10, like you said, for the Thunder as they huddle up here. Toe-ring with it, lines up in the gun. 2 receivers to his right. And he looks to his left. Little hitch pass there, and there's a flag. That's a good call by the official, as I'm not sure who that was in coverage, but number
was number
6
five.
maybe? Or
5, Blair Boudreau in the
Yeah.
coverage. Pass intended for number 6.
16,
Goons.
Noah McKenzie.
But it looks like he pass interference.
Yeah, that was a good call there. You could see he got there a smidge early, and Boudreau knew it, and the officials were right on the spot there, and good call by the officials. So that'll be first down and 10 for the Thunder.
Absolutely. Great call on the play. That ball maybe hung up in the air a little bit.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. Boudreau, it looked like he tried to time it right, but to your point, the ball just hung there, and he just got there a little early, right?
So they get a first down on the play.
Toe ring again from the gun. He drops the snap, and it's a high pitch, and the ball just sits there, and nobody wants it. And I think the Sabercats finally fall on it. And it's going to be first down and 10, Sault Sabercats. That's one of those old drills where and Boudreau, what a play. Boudreau steps back up and makes it.
The latest winner of the hot potato drill is number 5, Blair Boudreau for the Cats.
You love to see that, though, right? A player gets a penalty, not necessarily nothing he could do on that play, but then he comes out and gets the turnover. And that's one of those plays that coaches hate, but the players love, right? They see the hot potato ball, and all the defense is thinking about is touchdown. So they all try and pick it up and run rather than just the scoop drill, right? And rather than just falling on it and gaining possession. And Boudreau did that beautifully. So nice job by him, and good way to redeem himself for sure. Now Tucker has it. Tucker, 3 receivers to his right, Gazzetti to his left. They step forward, and they just swallow up Gazzetti, led by number 57, I believe that was.
Noah Kohler.
Noah Kohler again. He's had a good game here so far.
Yeah, he certainly has. We called his name as well as Mateos Jackson, number 98, in there on the blitz, and they were able to snuff that out pretty quickly.
Coach Antonello giving the play call in. Tucker again lines up. 3 receivers to his right, 2 to his left. Gazzetti motions to the right. He looks that way. Tucker has a lot of people coming after him, and nice play by the Thunder, led by number 58 or 56, sorry. Adoni Harper.
57, Kohler 98 also on the chase there, Mateos Jackson. I would like to see Matty Tucker get rid of that ball a little sooner. He had a chance to run around the corner, but that closed quickly, and he unloads it downfield and grounds the ball. He gets a chance again for second and 10, but now falling in loss. We'll see what happens.
Tucker's got some happy feet back there, it seems, right? Right away, as soon as the ball comes, he's quick to get out of the pocket or try to make something happen, because again, the run blocking has been impeccable so far here by the Sabercats. But in the past game, the Thunder have been able to get some pressure here early on, and there's a player down here, so we'll be back in about 30 seconds time on SiouxSports.com. Nice to see Noah Kohler be able to walk that one off. He's had a great game here so far for the Thunder with 6:26, I believe, to play here in the second quarter. It'll be nice once we get that new score clock here. Carter on to punt for the Sabercats. And we got a timeout here for the Thunder.
24 back. D'Anthony Crosborn back to receive, but we'll have to wait for a timeout. And you said the Thunder called that one?
Yeah, bizarre timeout to take, coming in off an injury, but I don't know if they had enough players out there. So, again, back to return will be D'Anthony Crosborn. And you would guest, Josh Martin.
Yeah, and at this time, we have a timeout here. We're going to thank again our sponsors, O'Sullivan Funeral Home, Algoma District School Board, Algoma Thunderbird Athletics, Huron Superior Catholic District School Board, and Gen 7. Freeze Frame Photos, True North Radio, Pee Wee Pro Shop, and Swing Away Batting Cages. Much thanks to all the sponsors. Make sure you support them for supporting our OSFL this summer. Hang in there. We've been delayed a couple hours. And upcoming after this game will be the varsity, or junior varsity rather, Sabercats versus the North Bay Club. So stay tuned. We've got lots of football this afternoon as we're ready for play. Carter back to punt.
Looks like number 7, actually, Emmanuel Robinson back to return. And Carter with a great kick again to Cosborn. Cosborn falls on it. Good coverage there by number 7, I believe, Mateo Palumbo. And there's a flag, a late flag. We'll see what that call is.
I'm going to assume it's a little excessive celebration, and didn't look like a penalty on the tackle, but we'll see what.
It was definitely the flag came after the play was dead, so I'm not sure if somebody said something or what may have happened, but either way, I believe that's going against the Sabercats. We'll have to see.
So a little bit of momentum there with a deep pin, but we'll give them a few back on the call. So if it's too much celebration, what's the yardage on that, Coach? 10?
Yeah, it'll be. We'll have to see what, again, the penalty is. We're just waiting on the call.
So a nice deep kick for Carter. Crosborn unable to manage a great return, but they get a few more yards on the flag after the play. So it'll look like they'll be taking over about the 20-yard line. We'll see where the spot is.
Yeah, so it'll be first down. It's just a matter of if it's a 10 or a 15-yard penalty here as the official marks off what looks like 15 yards. So it'll be first down and 10 for the Thunder. And that moves the ball way up to the 36-yard line. So it'll be a.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
I don't think that should be a no yards because the ball was dropped. I'm not sure what the official called there. I missed it, but.
According to Jimmy Fitzpatrick, he's got a 5 and a 15. 5 for no yards, 15 for the unsportsmanlike conduct. So they're marching forward without having to do the dirty work. So
yeah, I believe the ball was touched pretty quick. So I'm not sure about the no yards, but absolutely the other one. So yeah. Oh, it might have been 2 OCs too. So we'll see. Yeah. Again, we're not too sure about the calls. The officials up at Superior Heights, we're very fortunate to have microphones on them, which is a great tool for everybody. As there's a nice handoff up the middle. Good hard run there by Landon Chow. He picks up about 7 yards. And that's, that microphone on the officials, Scotty, it makes our job so much easier up here too, right? And the officials do an outstanding job of explaining kind of what's going on. So, again, once we get back up to Superior, hopefully that's something that gets reintroduced for everybody. As the Thunder now, second down and 3. Toring with it. Toring takes the snap, handoff up the middle, again to Chow. And Landon Chow running hard, but good job by that defensive line. I think he's going to be a yard short or a few inches short there. So we'll have to see what the Thunder decide to do. Down 21 points with, I believe, 4:23 to play here in the second quarter. They are indicating first down. So it'll be a first down for the Thunder.
It's a great spot for the Scarborough Thunder. They're going to move the sticks, and they're going to take over at the, let's call it, 41-yard line. Now, do you know the reason why they're playing on grass at the Rocky DePietro field?
Yeah, so I believe is it NASA Soccer? NASA Soccer is going on up at Superior Heights, so
that is correct.
That's why they came down here. And again, I love it here, right? Like, this is where we grew up playing football. I love this field. So, this is a football field in my opinion. So, no complaints from me. Nice little play there by the Thunder, but they can't connect as Tyson Weiss was the intended receiver. Nice little play action there out of the backfield. The Sabercats reacted to that, that swing pass because they've ran that a few times. and he looked for Weiss there, but again, you don't want, you don't know if the wind is really playing that much of a factor, but if you're not firing that ball, the wind's just gonna knock it down, and you kind of saw that there.
Liam Ouellette was there, number 3 on the coverage, but looked like he short hopped him, his receiver, and pass is incomplete. Looks like 2nd and 10 from that 41-yard line.
The Thunder again line up in the gun, Touring with 3 receivers lined up to his right. One down to his left, and he looks to his right. Oh, beautiful ball there, but what coverage on the play by Blair Boudreau. Unbelievable play there by Boudreau. They're really, they've tried that little slant pattern numerous times here today. That's the only pass we've really seen them, attempt, it seems, is that quick slant. And again, Boudreau able to kind of read that there with 2:30 or 3:37.
Let's give it 3:37. Let's call it.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, and again, Blair Boudreau, a nice step in front. Almost had an opportunity to pick it off. That'll bring up 3rd down. It looks like the Thunder will be back to punt. 14 doing the duties for that. Kamani James.
Yeah, Kamani James will kick it off yet again to, I believe that's Gazzetti.
Gazzetti rather is a lone back returning this ball. So see if they got a little trickery, if they're going to pound it away.
Kamani with a nice, beautiful spiral. I mean, that's as good as you can do into that wind, I think. And Gazzetti picks it up, and nice stop there. Great tackle by Landon Chow. So
Chow doing it on special teams as well as offense. Sabercats take over at midfield at the 55. So let's see if Tucker has got one last answer before the halftime break.
Yeah, it looks like 3:13 to go here in the first half.
Okay, so
sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that you're watching the USFL AA football action on Sioux Sports and T. Rogers TV, as well as listening to True House Sports Radio, brought to you by SiouxSports.com. Under 3 minutes to go.
Tucker takes the snap, and there's a handoff to Cochamilio to the right side. He's got a wall of blockers, but nice job yet again by Donnie Harper. Makes the stop. That's a gain of 7 on the play.
Sefton Andrews also in on the stop for the Thunder, so nice carry. Just needed maybe one block to bust it loose, but
Lucas Spin comes into the game.
Lucas Spin.
Wide receiver for the Sabercats. Lucas Spin, I talk about him every time I call a game. One of my favorite players. I had the privilege of coaching him at St. Mary's, and a yes coach, no coach, I'll do anything you ask of me coach type player that you need guys like that on your team who can do everything. They make you better and they make you a winning team. As that's a beautiful play again by the interior of that defense. But again, that's why I love Gazzetti, right, as a running back. The guy needed 3 yards. He knew he needed 3 yards. He followed his big bodies. There's a chance he could have kicked that to the right and broke it. But also, he might not have got that first down, and he knew what he needed to do there, and I believe he got enough for the first. We'll see. There is the first down signal, so good, smart play there by the running back here from the Sioux Sabercats.
Sometimes it's not just enough to be the hero. Sometimes you have to play smart and play team ball and just get enough to move the sticks and extend this drive. Nolan Johnson, number 43 on the stop.
Another freeze play here by the Cats.
Spunky dance move by the OC here.
Yeah.
Oh,
there's Gazzetti again, but nice stop yet again by Donnie Harper. Harper has just really picked it up all on his own here. And I'm not sure what the stats are, but that's got to be his 5th or 6th tackle here of the first half already.
Looked like Tucker and Gazzetti weren't on the same page there. A little dance partner move, a little bump and step, but still got a chance. We got 2nd down, maybe 11 after loss of 1 on the play.
2nd and 11, yeah.
Carter looking for the ball here.
Tucker moves Carter in. 3 receivers to his right. He looks that way. He hits Carter on the out, and Carter with a nice catch.
Oh, a little late hit there, and there's a flag. Carter having words with
We'll
the
see.
tackler.
We'll see what it is.
And they came in, roughed him up a little bit, and he drew after the play.
Yeah, he's better calm down a little bit, or he's definitely an emotional player, and there is an injury on the field, so we will be back in a few minutes' time. Welcome back. That flag was against actually the Sault Sabercats. So Nate,
Showing third. I think they'd have to redo second, though, wouldn't they, if it was a penalty against us?
Nate Carter, it looks like, has been ejected from the game.
That's going to be a big loss for the Sabercats. Obviously, a big part of their offense and their stretch passing game. So.
And there's a nice snap again, and Cochamilio, that goes right off the side of his foot, but gets a very friendly bounce. And that's going to go out of bounds, so it'll be good field position here for the Thunder, I guess, from their own, we'll call it, 30-yard? Oh, I guess that went back. Yeah, 30-yard line. So the Thunder are going to take over, first down and 10.
Plenty of time remaining, 1:48 to go on the clock, it looks like, and that's plenty of time. It's a lifetime for a strong offense, so let's hope, or I'm sure Scarborough is hoping at least to put some points on the board, a field goal at minimum 3 before going on away at halftime here. So.
Yeah, for Scarborough, I mean, other than a few big plays here that the Sabercats were able to convert on, they haven't given up a whole lot defensively, and I think credit needs to go, the two places we've talked about, the offensive line here of the Sault Sabercats, but also the defense of the Sabercats. They have done a remarkable job here today. And there's a handoff right up the middle, the number 22, Freddie Awuzie, and that's going to be a flag on the play. Not sure what the flag is there. Came from the far side, so it'll be somewhere on the line, I would assume. We'll see what the call is.
Aiden Wansha on the stop there for the Sabercats, and as you mentioned, Coach, mean, talking at halftime, you got a message for your kids. You don't go in there kicking cans and screaming up and down because they're in this game. Except for a few plays, 21-0 is able to be overcome. They'll have to make some adjustments, maybe stack the box a little more. Now they don't have Carter at the right wide receiver position. Maybe focus a little more on the run and stopping Gazzetti. So
Penalty was on the Thunder, but it will be declined. So 2nd down and 10. Back to pass. There's a throw to the outside, and that just hung up there. He was trying to connect with Cosborn, but they were unable to, and it'll be 3rd down now and 10 for the Thunder, and they're going to bring out the punting unit yet again. So, Sabercats will take over. I believe that says 148 or 140 on the clock. So they're going to have lots of time to try and add to this before halftime.
I think, Coach, going into the second quarter, I think you abandon it if the wind stays the way it is, throwing against the wind here. You're not Bob Seeger, and it's a tough commodity to get those long passes. Maybe a little crisscross across the middle, like see a little flyer pass. But these long balls are you're fighting Mother Nature and the opponent. So
terrific reference, by the way.
Old school vinyl there, right?
Oh yeah. So on to attempt the punt, or I shouldn't say attempt, but on to punt. I believe that's number 54, Ben Mengers. Looks like the Thunder are short a player out there.
They better snap the ball and run it.
And there's going to be a flag. That'll be a delay of game penalty against the Thunder. So you're going to push them back 5 more yards. Oh, sorry, that's number 14 back there. Kamani James still to punt.
And he's imploring the coaches to get the personnel on the field. 44 joining the force here. Abduli Kazel, obviously man down. I don't know, at that point, I guess you take penalty. It's only a 5-yard delay a game, but push them back into the shadow of the uprights.
Yeah, you almost wonder if you give up the safety here.
You know what?
That's kind of what I see possibly coming, and that is what they're going to do. So smart play there by the Thunder. Although you just want to take a knee at that point, right? Because the last thing you want to do is fumble and have something worse happen. But I like that play. I'm a huge proponent of giving up the 2. Again, for those of you that are new to football and have never watched this before, you might ask, why give up the 2 points? Well, the thought process is, right, if you're kicking into the wind and say the Sabercats maybe would have got the ball at the 30-yard line or the 35-yard line of the Thunder, you're basically sacrificing 2 points to gain an extra 60 or 70 yards, because now the Sabercats will take over at their own 35-yard line. So, 35-yard line, I believe. So, again, good play there by the Thunder, and that's the thought process behind that. So, the Sault Sabercats, with 1:34 to play here in the first half, will have to go 65 yards in order to put this one home. Sorry, 75 yards.
Well, pretty dominant period offensively for the Sabercats here, up 23-0 with 1:34. And Tucker about to try to extend that lead going into the halftime. We will take a 10-minute break at the half, and then we'll be back for that second half.
There's a handoff to Gazzetti, and Gazzetti gets to the outside. Oh, you're not going to shoulder tackle him. And Gazzetti breaks it up the middle. See you later. He's gone for another touchdown. And Gazzetti just running over people. You cannot throw a shoulder into him, because if you do, he will do that. A 75-yard touchdown run by Nathan Gazzetti.
And Subway has great wraps, but that defensive player has to throw a wrap on Mr. Gazzetti. As you know, he's a tough customer pound for pound. He'll absorb that hit and bounce off you, and you need to make the stop. And watching film, not only Scarborough but other teams that will be watching the Sabercat film, they'll learn from that mistake that you got to bring them down by committee, and obviously wrap and tackle and stop that, because he had them stopped dead to rights, and after a good gain but obviously Gazzetti broke it.
Yeah, like we said, right? It's, coaching's never easy, but when you have Nathan Gazzetti, coaching is easy.
Wait a minute.
Like Coach Knott was saying up here earlier, right? Just got to give him the ball, right? It's nice when you got a player like that, and there is going to be a flag here, but it looks like it's going to be against the Thunder, so that's going to be declined, and that'll be a 30. I believe that's a 30-0 lead here, with 1:19 to play in the first half.
So it looks like Scarborough will have to do some adjustments. 30-0 going into the half. Obviously not insurmountable, but digging themselves quite a big hole here, especially against this hometown crowd. And the favorite Sabercats team that's playing quite well on both sides of the ball, offense and defense.
Yeah, you wonder, right? The Sabercats, they're going up against an undefeated team here, and you're up 30-0 at halftime. At what point is a team going to be able to kind of give them a little bit of a battle, right? Or give them a little bit of game? Because I know as a coach, right, it's real difficult if you make it the whole regular season, without facing much adversity. And then how does your team react once you do face that adversity, right? So I know Coach Antonello, he loves these situations and he loves these games. But at some point, you kind of want your team to face a little bit of adversity, right? So they know what it's like.
And Scarborough won't go quietly into the night. They're going to battle back and regroup at halftime. And as we wait to kick by Cochemilio here.
Cochemilio with a boot. And that's what we said would happen when he got a hold of one with the wind, right? He finally decided to kick one deep. And it's taken again by Cosborn. And he doesn't quite get out of the end zone, but we have another player down here for the Thunder.
Nolan Johnston, number 43, is down, but waiting.
And we'll be back in a couple minutes' time with the last 35 seconds of the first half. Welcome back. Nice to see, I believe that's Nolan Johnstone, be able to get helped off the field, but at least he's putting a little bit of weight there. So it looks like the Thunder actually did get out of the end zone, and they're giving him the spot on the 1 yard line. So Will Toering now has it. Another handoff right up the middle, and great play by number 96, Mateo Rodriguez Lorondo, blows that up, and it is a safety, I believe.
Martin with the carry.
I believe it is a safety. What a play there by the big D lineman. So it'll be another chance here for the Sabercats. It'll be interesting to kind of see what they do here if they end up, just kneeling out I believe there's Oh, there's 58 seconds left?
58 seconds. Just shy
Okay,
of a
there's
minute.
more than I thought. But
Yeah.
so it'll be first down and 10 again from the 35-yard line for the Sabercats. This is, last time they had this happen, they got a safety in the first play. What did they do? Hand it to Gazzetti, and 75 yards later. But it looks like Gazzetti's not out there for this series. They're putting out Ren Levesque at running back. Ren is an outstanding young athlete here for this Sabercats team. You want to talk about speed. Nobody has Gazzetti speed, but Ren is a very, very, very fast player with the ball in his hand, and he runs the ball extremely hard. So, a nice little player on his own right. Who else do we have out there now? It looks like we have Drayden Brock out there playing in the backside slot as well. Drayden, an outstanding football player for Superior Heights, multi-sport athlete, good basketball player as well. So Tucker from the gun. 3 receivers to his right, 2 to his left. He hands up the middle to Ren. And Ren, he runs into his own player, and he's finally tackled by number 99 of the Thunder.
Danley Fenelon, 99.
Nice tackle there by Fenelon.
No gain, 2nd and 10.
Randy Levesque had nowhere to go there, bumped into his own guy, and quickly swarmed up by a bunch of purple jerseys. So 2nd and 12 after 13 after loss of 3.
Tucker from the gun. Cochamilio motions. Tucker looks. He looks downfield, and he has Brock. And it's just out of the reach. Drayden Brock stopped running on the play. And had he continued that route, he might still be running. Nice throw there by Tucker. So it'll be 3rd down and 13, and the punt team will come out for the Sault Sabercats. I'm not sure who's gonna take over the punting duties now. It might be Cochamilio, I would assume.
Yeah, I think with 42 seconds left after the punt and the halftime, we will expect the Sabercats to be receiving the ball in the second half because they kicked off, I believe, to start the game.
So Cochamilio will be kicking, and again, you have DeAnthony Crosborn and Josh Martin back for the Thunderbirds, for the Thunder. Snaps good. Cochamilio gets off a nice kick.
Oh,
and again, the wind just takes it. Sorry, that's Robinson. Emmanuel Robinson lets it go, and it goes all the way down inside the 5-yard line. Unbelievable bounce there. That's a 76-yard punt or 74-yard punt, we'll call that.
Good for the net.
Yeah, that looks good for Cochamilio's punting stats, that's for sure.
That got up in the wind current there and just carried over number 7's head and kept rolling and all the way down to the 1-yard line.
28.8 seconds to play here in the first half. And again, that made it, I believe that's on the 3-yard line or the 2-yard line here of the Thunder. So you can't even kneel it out if you wanted to here for the Thunder.
This is Mexico territory right here for this act.
So
Freddie Owuzi in the backfield along with Landon Chow. We got a timeout call here by the Thunder. One thing that we've seen, Landon Chow, when he's, I don't think he's had a lot of carries here so far, but every time he's touched the ball, he's run hard, he's followed some blocks, he's made guys miss. He's been pretty impressive here for the Thunder. So, look for them to maybe kind of get him more involved here as the game progresses.
And they'll have to do that, being down so much, is make adjustments at the half, and he might see a little more on number 4 and some definite changes to the offense, at least for the Thunder.
Yeah, we talked about, the Sault College program starting up here in the fall, and, we look at just the amount of players from the Sault Thunderbirds team that, Sault Sabercats team here. It's impressive to see, right? Dakin and Goche, a linebacker out of Superior Heights. Will Meta, a wide receiver out of Superior Heights. Mateo Palumbo, Matty Tucker, Nathan Gazzetti. Nathan Gazzetti is going to Windsor. I apologize. Ethan Karkidi, Mateo Torreson, Miguel Bedard, Ashton Sachin, Grant Matheson, all going to the Sault College. And, you know, it's nice to see some of that. And there's another safety here given up by the Thunder. So with 24.2 seconds to play, that'll be a 34-0 lead. 1 point away from a straight time half. And you know what's funny, eh? Like, you know, if you were to ask us halfway through the first quarter, you know, would this be a 34-0 game? You know, we'd probably tell you absolutely not. But it's just the way things have been going and the way the breaks have been have gone the Sabercats' way here. But, you know, you create your own breaks, and, you know, this Sault Sabercats team really figured it out halfway through the first quarter, and, you know, just have been able to really control both lines of scrimmage. And I think that's been the key so far in this game is, you know, the offensive and defensive line of the Sabercats have absolutely dominated the offensive and defensive line of the Thunder here in the first half.
Absolutely, and you know what, the big guys don't often get the credit, or don't get enough credit, at least, as the guys that score the big touchdowns and make the big plays. But certainly after a slow start by both offenses, with a lot of holding, a lot of missed tackles, you know what, Sabercats have had their way a little bit, and they're up 34-0 to show for it.
Yeah, and when's the last time you saw 3 safeties on 3 straight possessions, right? So there's a handoff up the middle, nice tackle. That was Peyton Melchiori who tried to get some yards, but he was brought down originally by number 98 of the Thunder.
Number 98, that Mateo Jackson. So.
And Lane Palaka also on the stop. 18.9 seconds to go. Clock's running. It looks like the Sabercats are going to let it go down to 0, and then they're going to take a knee. So after the first half here from Rocky DiPietro Field in Sault Ste. Marie, the Sault Sabercats will hit the locker room with a 34-0 lead. I'm Tony Bonifero, joined alongside Scott McPherson, Jay and Shaw Houselander in studio, and Chris Carr on a chair. We'll be back in about 10 minutes' time with second half action here from Rocky DiPietro Field in Sault Ste. Marie. alongside Scott McPherson, Jay and Shaw Houselander in studio, and Chris Carr on a chair. We're back for third quarter action here between the Scarborough Thunder and the Sault Sabercats. Scott, just kind of give us a little bit of a rundown about what happened in that first half.
Slow start by both clubs. The Sabercats finally got uncorked. Obviously, as Gazzetti goes, so go the Cats' fortunes. And looks like it's pointed to Gazzetti. He'll have another chance to put a few more yards on the board. Oh, Melchiori. My bad. It was Melchiori that returned that ball out to the 32-yard line. So that's where the Cats will start.
So you still have Tucker in the game here for the Sabercats. A little surprising, I think. But, you know, again, it's the third quarter. We are going straight time now for the remainder of the game. Generally, it's 35. You would go straight time, but the coaching staffs have decided to go straight time here. Scarborough, you know, having a conversation with one of the managers from the Scarborough Thunder, you know, they left at 1 in the morning and there was a bad accident on Highway 69 and they were stuck on the highway for 6 hours and, you know, a 15-hour bus ride, and then you got to come here and play football. That's not easy at all. And, you know, they're out here, they're grinding, they're giving it their all. They're playing well. And, again, they are missing also, I think they said they're missing, you know, 14 or 15 guys as well. So, you know, we understand the plight and how difficult it is to come up here to the Sioux, and we definitely appreciate them showing up and, you know, coming out here and, you know, giving a pretty good effort. They've been able to, you know, do things that we don't see very often, which is, you know, I know Gazzetti has still gone for 3 touchdowns and, you know, a whole bunch of yards, but they've definitely stopped him and they were able to corral him a little bit. So, again, they deserve some credit there. As nice pass there by Drayden, or catch by Drayden Brock. Nice throw by Tucker and a great tackle by number 0, Hamza Ali. So that is enough for a first down, and Brock hits the ground hard after coming off. So
great job by number 18 to climb the ladder there, pull that one in. A little floater by Tucker, sailed a little bit, but nice job by Brock to haul it in. Getting tended to on the sidelines, but looks like they're going to mark that and move the sticks. Looks to be enough for a first down. So, yes, they are moving the sticks, indicated by the umpire. So
it'll be interesting to see here. I'm not sure if they're going to run a play or not. I know Drayden is on the sidelines, but, you know, he looks like he's pretty hurt. Oh, he's able to get up now, it looks like, and kind of walk that off a little bit, which is good to see. The way he collapsed, I was a little concerned there, but, you know, that was a great little low tackle, and that's all you could do against a big guy like Brock. So Tucker from the gun. They look over to the sidelines. 3 receivers lined up to his right, 2 to his left, with number 23, Ren Levesque, lined up in the backfield. Tucker takes the snap, and Tucker pulls it out. He looks, and he's got a man open. It's Cochamilio, and good catch there by Cochamilio. That's another first down. Nice throw there by Tucker.
Gain of 18 on the play. Nice throw and catch. Throwing across body there. Running and rolling out to his left and throwing downfield. And who's the receiver on that one, Coach?
Cochamilio.
Cochamilio, a nice catch.
And now you see exactly kind of what we thought would happen is Tucker now coming off. And number 9, Alex Hayes, the 17-year-old from St. Mary's, comes into the game here for the Sabercats. Hayes runs it into motion. It's a handoff to Cochamilio. Cochamilio to the right side. And he's brought down, led by big number 98 again. He's had a great game here for the Thunder.
98, Mateos Jackson.
Yeah, we've said again Jackson's name quite a bit here for the Thunder.
And as it goes here into the second half, you're looking for your backup quarterback, rather, Alex Hayes, to come in and just let his boys do the work, hand off, kind of protect the ball. And
there's a big stop inside, led by number 67, I believe. Or 57, sorry, Noah Kolar yet again.
Lane Palaka in there with help on the tackle. And again, as I was saying, Alex Hayes just looking to do not make any grave mistakes. Hand off the ball, roll out and deliver the ball if called upon, but just not do anything. Get your feet wet and get your first snaps at the quarterback this year. So he's done a nice job there. Although the Sabercats will be forced to punt.
So back to punt is Cochamilio. And again, Crosborn back.
Nice
and
punt.
It's a smart kick, right? And it's picked up there by Noah McKenzie with a short gain. That's a smart kick by Cochamilio, right? There's, you don't want to put it up in the wind too much, and he puts it nice and low and still able to get a friendly bounce. And that's about a 30-yard play there, 30-yard change of possession. There is a player down, so we will pause the action. Back, and there's a nice little handoff up the middle, but again swallowed up inside by Mateo Rodriguez Lorondo. We've called his name a few times here today. Not a household name amongst the football community here in Sault Ste. Marie, so we had to ask Coach Knott a little bit about him. And Mateo is he moved here from Mexico. He's goes to St. Mary's, and he has been unbelievable here so far. That's a nice find for the St. Mary's Knights come the fall.
2nd and 10, short gain there.
Is that Kamani James in at quarterback now? It looks like it, eh? And James decides to keep it. And Kamani James with a nice run to the left side. He's finally forced out of bounds by number 11, Kieran Juma. That's going to be enough for a first down. So first down and 10 for the Scarborough Thunder.
Nice job by Juma to track him and force him out of bounds after a good pickup by the quarterback. Nice to see Juma out after he's been sidelined with an injury. Missed NASA track, a great track athlete, but great to have him back. Shout out to Ali and Michelle. Probably celebrating in the parking lot right now. Tailgaters unite.
Kamani James again in the back, lined up at quarterback, and he hit. Oh, there's a little miscommunication there. And he's swallowed up for a sack by Mateo Rodriguez Lorondo. So that's got to be. He's got 2 safeties. I think that might be his. That's a sack. So that's his second or third sack here today. Yeah.
Yeah, lots of tackles in on most of the plays, blowing up that offensive line and that whole defensive line. Wanch, Commissar, all kinds of havoc back there in that offensive backfield for the Thunder.
James takes the handoff and gives it to Martin, and Martin kicks it to the left side. There's that speed, and lowers the shoulder, and forced out of bounds by Juma. But you see, Josh Martin, you see that acceleration right there, right? You see that speed. So, nice little run by him. That's the first time he's had a little bit of space here today. So it's a gain of 4, and we'll call it 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, you definitely see that breakaway speed, and got loose, and he had one more block, might have made a big gainer there. So brings 3rd, but looks like they're going to go for it. Down 34 points in the 3rd quarter.
3rd down and 6. James takes it, and he keeps it this time. And James up the middle. He's going to be real close to the first down. We'll have to see the spot. That's about as close as it gets from where he fell.
Maybe very close. Might need a measurement here, but nice. Had he led forward with the ball, he might have breached the line of scrimmage there.
And they're going to give him the first down. Nice run there by Kamani James.
I think that's a good spot by the officials. I think he was real close, and that'll bring up first down for the Thunder.
Yeah, that was one of those, he fell down and he kept his knees off the ground, fell forward, extended the ball out, and got the first down. James, again, takes the snap. He keeps it yet again. Nice job by Wanch on the outside, and he's helped by Grayson Moreno, and he's brought back, and there's going to be a flag, 2 flags on the play.
Although they had him wrapped up, 3 guys.
Yeah, Wanch had the football, but I think James was down first. We're going to have to see where these flags are, or what these flags are.
That's an intimidating mass of humanity with Sault and Wanch and Mathieson coming in at you, and had him under wraps and threw him to the ground quite vigorously. So I'm sure that's the penalty on the play is super aggressive tackle there. But
Wanch comes out of the game here. So we didn't really get much clarification on the Carter situation. Will that result in a suspension? So he had 2 OCs, so he just means he's out for this game, and then potentially going forward, we'd have to see. But yeah, so that is the rule that has been put into place for the last couple of years. If you receive 2 OC penalties, you are ejected from the game. So that's going to go against the Sabercats.
And for those of you listening at home, OC refers to objectionable conduct, so not the Orange County that I was thinking.
Yeah.
But regardless, certainly missed. Good thing they didn't need him in a game this far apart, but hopefully Carter will be able to come back next game.
Oh, and there's a dropped handoff, and it's recovered by, nice play again by Landon Chow. Landon Chow somehow came up with that football. We talked about it earlier, Scott. Again, Chow, when he's touched the ball, he's done good things for them, but I don't think he has more than 3 or 4 carries in the game. So, there's another player down here for the Scarborough Thunder, but just taking a knee is Lee Jasper. Sign.
And for mums and dads and grandparents at home on our sideline, the Sabercats, 18 Drayden Brock up on his feet and stretching out his hip where he landed hard. So that's a nice sign. So don't worry, Dad Mike. Your boy looks to be just great.
Going forward here for the Sault Sabercats, they will play on June 7th versus I'm not sure which one is which, but the Huronia Stallions will play. Oh, sorry, that's what it is. So the Sault Sabercats will play the York Lions next week, and the Scarborough Thunder will be at home versus the Huronia Stallions. So, that'll be a fun game next week again to cover the Sault Sabercats. June 7th, that is.
And are we sure of the times for those games?
No, I don't think so. Not quite yet. So
it's a little unorthodox to have the seniors starting first. Usually they're playing following the JV squads, but for whatever reason, the schedule allowed this. And obviously we will get that information to you as soon as we can about when and where.
So it looks like the games are going to be at 1 and 4 next week, is what the Jay Houselander in studio has informed us. So.
And obviously we will be returning back to the Fott Center field at Superior Heights. Just not there today because of the Nauset soccer going on. So good luck to all the participants in Nauset soccer.
James, again with the keeper.
Oh,
and
loose.
He makes lots of guys miss, and he picks up, we'll call it 17 yards, and I think he got enough for the first down there. So a big run by James.
And unfortunately, number 20, Cam Williamson, was the one to make the tackle, but took a big hit along the way. So looks like a first down as the sticks move, and nice little march here by the Thunder, trying to make bust the goose egg open here with.
And Matheson is down here for the Sabercats. So we'll be back in a couple minutes' time to Rocky DiPietro Field here in Sault Ste. Marie. Welcome back. Nice to see Matheson. He was able to get off the field. He actually wanted to stay in the game, but obviously you have to come out for 3 plays once you're hurt. So, Kamani James motions the receiver.
Another free ball.
Can't control the snap. He picks it up, though, and tries to get away, but he's unable to do so, and I believe that's Josh LaPera who swallows him up in the backfield for a big loss.
Ethan Carchidi helping out with the tackle. Nice job. The swarm of the Sabercats as the end of the third quarter is signified by the sirens, and we will stay on for the fourth quarter here.
You know, Josh LaPera, a guy that you don't, he's plays on the D line here for this Sault Sabercats team. You know, he came out for us in grade 10 at St. Mary's after never playing football before, and we weren't sure where to put him. Right, we started him off at the O-line and then slid him over to defense. Man, very polite young man with us, and it's been awesome to kind of see his progression in football. And again, I think he's just scratching the surface of what he can be as a football player. You know, again, a kid who started off a little bit late in grade 10 and has really come into his own. And nice to see him having some success out here. And I'm excited to see what else he can do in the game of football here as he's really been playing well, and he picks it up very, very quickly.
So it looks like a second as indicated, but waiting for the sticks to get moving.
They have to set him back up because that was a loss of 18 yards.
And as we start the fourth quarter, you have a score of 34-0 for the hometown Sault Sabercats.
Second down and a country mile here.
Oh,
and he tries to throw it up. The ball was tipped, I believe, at the line.
Williamson, the closest one to the ball. Again, that ball straight into air, almost flew backwards in negative yards. We talked about on the break, Coach, about these guys just getting reps as substitutes and second stringers, and getting your starters out and resting them for the game and keeping them healthy. But for some of these guys, this is their audition. This is their chance to show the coach going into the second half when the game's out of reach. And all these guys, they go to practice day in, day out, and are really working to spine to spot and just looking for a chance. So good luck to all of them and making some noise out there to get noticed.
Absolutely. As Kamani James now is jack of all trades here for the Thunder, playing some quarterback. Now he's punting. They're short a player again, so he's looking over. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, looks like they're short a lineman here, actually. So, at some point you would think they would just snap the ball, but
I think they're going to allow him the chance to get a man in, but otherwise there's the penalty flag that's thrown and quickly blows back 5 yards. And
I actually count 12 players on the field. I don't know if I'm just...
That's a lot of purple out there. Regardless of that, that'll be a delay of game penalty, so they'll move back a little bit, and it's just the kind of day it's been for the Scarborough Thunder. Sometimes you just can't get personnel up there, and depleted lineup and some injuries. Maybe it's hard to stay focused. Down 34-0 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and again, you're punting into the wind here. You know, whoever the long snapper is, what a kick that was. That's going to be a roughing the kicker penalty for sure.
Yeah, automatic first
That
down.
was, yeah, that'll be on Max Clement, and Kamani's having some words with him. That, you know, you don't like to see that. So Max is a good kid. I don't think that was done intentionally at all, as Max Clement comes from one of the football families in Sault Ste. Marie. As you know, between him and all of his brothers, I think they were part of our league in Sault Minor for, you know, the better part of 15 or 16 years, if not longer. So, you know, I've watched Max grow up, and nice to see him out here following in the footsteps of his brothers as well. So, yeah, learning experience for Max. He'll know better. He's not a dirty player by any means. He just got a little too excited there trying to block that one.
It was good job by the punter to get it off, and you never want to see, especially when the punter is vulnerable like that. That's why they protected any contact with the punter, and that was a pretty good shot that the punter took, but still in the game, and good to see. Automatic first down.
So it'll be an automatic first down here for Scarborough. They'll take over first down and 10 from the 36-yard line, it looks like.
So once again, man, look for a moral victory here with Scarborough Thunder just trying to get on the board and break the egg here as Grayson Monero comes back into the game. And now they have too many men, so
Timeout call here by the by the Sabercats, it looks like.
while we wait for the spot or the call, just wanted to wish Big G, Grant Mathewson, a happy belated birthday. Celebrated his 19th on Thursday, I believe. So congratulations to Grant, and big shout out to Donna and Blair and Sister Paige living in Ottawa. Hopefully you have a nice toast for your big boy, Grant Mathewson, who's also going to be signing with the Sault College, or has committed to Sault College for the fall.
And again, just want to thank our sponsors. We have O'Sullivan Funeral Home, you know, freeze frame photos, True North Radio, the Sault Pee Wee Pro Shop, Swing Away batting cages, the Algoma District School Board, the Algoma Thunderbirds Athletics, the Huron Superior Catholic District School Board, and Gen 7. We thank you again for your continued support of youth athletics here, as there's a nice run, and there's going to be a flag as he just goes out of bounds by, nice run again by Josh Martin. He had a lot of space. We'll see what the flag is. The flags might be the reason he had a lot of space.
I think it might go against Tyrell Cook, number 17, who's the last man to block for Martin. And I thought it was a pretty fair block, but it looks like that's the area where the flag occurred. So
I think it was after the first down, but or no, it looks like it's a call against
Sabercats. Interesting.
Or was the ref going the wrong way? We'll have to see what the call was. Yeah, it is going to be against Scarborough. The officials just went the wrong way, so it'll be a 10-yard penalty. I believe it was after the first down happened. It was, so it will be first down and 10 Scarborough. So the penalty, so the player, Josh Martin, gained 12 yards, and then the holding penalty took place, meaning that the first down stands and the ball just goes back 10 yards from where the foul was. Toring looks. He hits Coburn on the outside, and where's a big tackle, and that's going to be a face mask, a high tackle by Karkidi. An easy call for the officials when a player loses his helmet. DeAnthony Crosborn.
And that's a hopeless feeling when the ball is floating towards you and you see a guy beating down on you and licking his chops, just waiting to put a big lick. He did a great job to control that reception, and Karkidi a little too overzealous there and draws the penalty.
So that'll be first down.
Once again, don't forget to join us next Saturday as your Sabercats take on the York Lions from Fott Field at Superior Heights. week 4 of our OSFL season. We will also have details about the junior varsity, because Sabercats will play that same day, I imagine, here at home, but we will check the schedule and come up with that information for you during our next broadcast, or the continuation of this broadcast for our junior varsity game coming up, scheduled for 5 o'clock start. Thank you for your support as we wind down 9:37 to go, 34-0, your Sabercats leading.
Scarborough with their best field position here of the day. Toring looks. He looks right. He throws it up, and it's knocked down. Beautiful play in the end zone by...
Scarborough going to the end zone. Looks like...
Was that Chase Venn?
By number 16, Chase Venn.
So nice job by Venn coming in a support role and getting his chance and making a nice break on that ball. Ball again was well thrown, but that wind knocked it down a touch, and Venn able to bust it up.
Yeah, I think Venn probably could have caught that one, but I think he was expecting the ball to go over his head, and it just kind of died in the wind.
That's a tremendous throw into the end zone.
So again, Toring in the backfield. Takes the snap, and there's a pitch to Martin. Martin gets the outside, and Martin is in for the touchdown.
Martin around the right side. Looks like he's in for a touchdown.
And there's a little bit of life here for Scarborough as they're finally on the board. Looks like they're going to be on to attempt the extra point, and it will be Kamani James. Snap's good, holds good, and the kick is good. So that puts them onto the board, and it's a 34-7 score here.
Extra point looked like a lob wedge on the golf course with a nice little spin back. And
well, hopefully we can get golfing at some point this year. I mean, it's been we haven't had much of a summer up here yet. This almost feels like more of a spring or of a fall day rather than a spring or summer day. That's for sure.
Life in Sault Ste. Marie. Come and join us.
Yeah.
So it was the Scarborough Thunder on the board, 34-7 with 7:16 looks like to go. I mentioned earlier about games next week. Let me make a correction. The junior varsity Sabercats play at home to the York Lions, followed by a junior Argos game in the varsity division. So our Sabercats will play Argos June 7th, next Saturday here at the Superior Heights Field. So another home game for the two clubs. Always nice to have some home cooking and play in front of a nice crowd. Great big thanks to all of you that showed up. Mums, dads, grandmas, sisters, grandpas, cousins, all kinds of friends and supporters of Sault Minor football and the OSFL. I mentioned Sault Minor football as our feeder program. Do a nice job there. And all those little guys out there this week practicing hard, getting ready for their season openers tomorrow. So all the best to them. Thank you to the coaches, referees, sponsors, and conveners. Do a great job making this come together.
Yeah, that's one of the nice things about Sault Ste. Marie is the Sault Minor Football League, right? We're one of the only communities around Ontario that offers tackle football starting at 7 years old here.
Oui.
So you've kind of seen that, the impact of that league with these kids growing up playing. And a nice return here by Neshoba Moore. And he goes up the middle, and there's another flag on the play. He's finally brought down by number 13, Mikhail Vasselborn.
So an interesting little flight path on that ball. It took a little knuckle and looked pretty.
Yeah.
Typhoon.
Yeah, that's. I'm telling you, this wind. I mean, we don't feel it much up here, but you can when you see the grass moving, right? You know it's a pretty significant wind. So.
These are the days my mother used to tell me to go fly a kite. So,
yeah. Yeah.
great to see. Good. There's no such thing as a bad football day, but this is an interesting one for
Yeah.
sure. It's no rain, but certainly the
Oh.
wind is wreaking havoc on this. And
Can you imagine if
both
it was
sides.
raining today? That'd be
we'd be happy to be indoors with
Yeah.
the windows shut.
So Alex Hayes at the quarterback position, 3 receivers to his right. Hayes hands it off, and it's taken by Levesque. Levesque runs to the right side. He picks up a few yards. Brought down by number 33, Lane Pulaka again, sorry.
Nice job by Hayes, just handing out the ball and making things roll back there smoothly. Not much of a gain on that. The spot, maybe a gain of 3. Brings up 2nd and 7.
3 receivers to the left here of Hayes. 2 to the right with Levesque in the backfield. 2nd down and 6.
Rare spot our commissar out at the wideout spot here, number 85, I think, if that's.
That's a great number. Hayes takes the snap. Hayes hands it off yet again. It's taken there by number 21, Peyton Melchiori, and he's stopped by, surprise, surprise, Kamani James, who has been all over the field here today. So Kamani's now played every position from DN to quarterback to punter to running back. You know, he's done a little bit of it all here. Sabercats are going to bring out the punt unit with Cochamilio with 3:35 and counting to go here in the 4th quarter. Back to return is number 7, Emmanuel Robinson, and number 24, DeAnthony Crosborn. So nice to see him back out there after that high tackle that he took, and he had to leave the game for a little bit. So, again, nice to see Cochamilio really get a hold of one here with this wind. Good snap. He's got time, and he just actually got it off.
Take a nice
And
roll,
nice
though.
bounce again.
And rolls still.
Cosborn all the way back inside the 10. He takes it to the right. And what a tackle on the outside by number 16, Chase Venn. One-on-one tackle, and he breaks down beautifully and makes the stop. Cochamilio had a 75-yard punt earlier in the game, and that one there went, I think, almost 65, 70 yards again. So Cochamilio's net in this game will definitely be aided by those friendly bounces.
Maybe some CFL scouts at the next game if
Yeah,
they just read the stat
That's
line.
right, eh? 2 70-yard punts. So we got to check this guy out, right?
Yeah, now if you can master the coffin kick, we're all set.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
2:19 to go here again, straight time.
Brandon Lemaire in at safety for the Sabercats.
Toering takes it, and he hands it off to number 22, Freddie Owuzi. And Owuzi picks up, we'll call it 11 yards. That might be enough for a first down. That's a good run there.
Thunder still competing, and even inside 2 minutes here, still running the ball hard and trying to pick up extra yards. But overall, pretty dominant performance by these Sabercats, who will move to 3-0, handing Scarborough their first loss of the year. We mentioned again that Sabercats next week will be facing the Junior Argos, so join us probably at 4 o'clock start next Saturday at the Fott Field at Superior Heights. So thanks for coming to this one. Reminder that there is a junior varsity game coming up at 5 o'clock. Stay tuned, and we'll join you for the coverage of that one.
There's a handoff again up the middle. Nice solid run. There's a fumble. Ball's on the ground, and it's picked up by number 48, I believe, of the Sabercats, Ethan Fisher. And that should do it for the ball game. So, Scott, before we sign off, we're going to announce our Sioux Sports players of the game. The player of the game, I'll let you announce it for the Sioux Sabercats.
All right, put me on the spot here. Obviously, there's some great performances by many. Sabercats with a lot of scoring, a lot of great defensive plays. Always impressed by the effort that people make, but as a former defensive player, I'm going to go with number 96, Mateo Rodriguez Larondo.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. I mean, you know, Gazzetti, everybody sees what Gazzetti can do, but the guy had two safeties, 3 sacks in a matter of, you know, a 5-minute span. He's had a couple more sacks. I think that's a great selection. So congratulations to Mateo. And for the Scarborough Thunder, I think we got to give the player of the game to number 14, Kamani James, as Kamani played every position and did a great job. So, Scott, this was a blast. It was fun to do this game with you again. It's been a while, so definitely appreciate it. And hope